Hi guys, Andy Ragg here, welcome back to the channel. Another amateur radio related video today. In this video we're going to take a look at the SOTABeams 10 meter pole and how that might be used with some of the components from the DX Commander all-band vertical system to produce an all-band vertical. Stay tuned, we'll get right to it. Right guys, so a long time ago when I first got into amateur radio, I was thinking about what kind of antennas I needed, and being a sort of like traditional ex-military signaller, I immediately went for a dipole. So I went ahead and I bought the bits to make myself a SOTABeams link dipole, and yeah, that was all great. And I went ahead and got myself a little 6 meter mast, and that was good, but wasn't great. Didn't really get out much, so I decided to get myself a bigger mast, and I went for the 10 meter, and here it is. Here we go. Just ignore that little sticker there for the time being. So yeah, that's my SOTABeams 10 meter pole, and all was well. But I then started watching this guy on YouTube called Callum M0MCX, and he makes a line of antennas which is constantly expanding and improving, called the DX Commander. And I watched quite a few of his videos, and I saw a lot of people using his antenna systems out on YouTube, so I thought it would be a good idea to really build myself one. But I'm a Yorkshireman, and we're notorious for having short arms and deep pockets, and I didn't really fancy buying another antenna system with another 10 meter pole. So what I thought I'd do was sort of go halfway. So what I ended up doing was I ended up buying the all-band plate conversion kit. Now this is a product from Callum, which basically is just the plates. I understand that when Callum originally made the DX Commander, he was using some kind of plastic for the spacers and whatnot that wasn't particularly well suited to high levels of RF, and it used to melt, or it could melt in certain scenarios. So he went ahead, redesigned the system, and came up with what we all now know is the DX Commander All-Band Classic. So what do you actually get with the conversion system? Well, pretty much everything you need bar the fixings. So I'll just show you now. Obviously bear in mind that what I'm showing you now is the completed kit, which includes fixings. The plate conversion system doesn't contain the fixings that you need to make a full system. So here we go. So you get a ground plate. Obviously you see it here in its complete form, with all the nuts and the bolts and the pigtail, the SO239 pigtail. So if you want all these bits, Callum actually does a hardware kit that you can buy separately to go with a plate kit, to essentially give you all the little bits and pieces that you need to finish a system, less the wire, which you can also buy separately as well. I already had a pannier of D10, which is the old military wire, so I didn't really buy any wire from Callum, not yet anyway. So that's the ground plate. Next we have the radiating plate. So this is the plate that sits just above the ground plate, and the plate to which you attach all your little radiating elements. And there you can see that I've mocked all mine up with labels. Callum also supplies sticky labels for branding, so you can stick them wherever you want. Now, let's pick that up. Points to note: Callum tries to keep the cost of these things as low as possible, and I know myself, because I've had stuff laser cut before, because I used to do RC aircraft building. Getting stuff laser cut's quite expensive, and obviously then if you have to go to the cost of finishing metal items, that's going to bump up the cost even so. So when you get these things, the edges there can just be a little, you know, a bit keen. But the good thing is, a bit of kitchen Scotch-Brite, in about 10 minutes of your time will sort all that out. I mean, if you want to go the whole hog and fully polish these up, you can do that as well, but this thing's going to sit outside in the rain and, you know, in the weather, so I ain't bothered. So there you are. You get two of those. You get one of those and you get one of those. And again, you don't get the fixings. So what do you also get in the plate kit? You get your spreaders, and again, you get some stickers. Now, they're my carabiners, they're not Callum's. So that's the guiding plate, that's the mid spreader, that's the top spreader, and somewhere in here I've got the double I. And now these are all made in the UWHME plastic, which is good for some stupid levels of RF. So if you've got an experimental license like Callum has, or you're you know, you're not subject to the UK amateur licensing laws, go for it. This stuff isn't going to melt. So having the plates and the spreaders and the double I, that's all well and good, but you're going to need obviously the fixings, and as I've said, the fixing kit contains everything else that you need in terms of spade connectors, all the little stainless nuts and wing nuts, bolts, washers, Jubilee clips, and the aquarium tube to protect the Jubilee clips and your pole. Everything comes in. It's basically like buying a Classic without the pole and the wire. Some of the other bits as well. You can see this is one of my radiating elements that I made up. This one's for 17 meters, and you can see that I've actually made myself the bungee cord, the doingy, the clips, and the paracord. And again, those things are included. Obviously the little Velcro strips I've added from my own personal stash. So if you have a 10 meter pole, but you also would like to realise the performance of the DX Commander antenna system, just get those two things. You could also buy the wire at the same time, or you might have wire of your own. You know, it's really up to you. But buying it in component form is obviously not going to be as cheap or as good for Callum as if you buy a full system. So now you've got your all-band vertical conversion kit, you've got the fixings kit, and you assemble the components. Does it actually fit? Well, yes it does. Using this pole, there you go, turn it the other way, that one. Using that pole, marketed by SOTABeams, it's a perfect fit. All of the spacers line up where they need to. It's practically a drop-in replacement. So if you do have a SOTABeams 10 meter pole, right guys, so you've got your bits and pieces, you've got the conversion kit, you've got the hardware kit that goes with it. But obviously what you don't have is any experience of working with the DX Commander. So just something I've come across myself, just in sort of like the prototyping and assembly stage of putting it all together and cutting the elements to length, etc., is that adjusting the Jubilee clips, or the pipe clamps, as other nationalities may call them, it can be quite a bit of a fiddle sometimes. Sometimes you know, if you're using a flathead or a crosshead screwdriver, you can slip, and you may end up damaging the finish of the pole. So what I did, I actually noticed that the pipe clamps have got a hex head, and it's a 7mm hex head. So I went to the garage and I got myself this out, 7mm socket with a quarter drive handle. adjusting these things as a doddle now, because all I do, stick it on and twist. Can't slide about, can't slip off. Very easy, and it just makes the chore of assembling the DX Commander just a little bit easier. Okay, storage. So you've cut all your elements and your radials. You've got a lot of wire. You've got bits of paracord for your guy ropes. You've got Jubilee clips. You've got the plates themselves and the spacers. And you really need something to store it all in when it's not actually assembled. So I came up with the idea that you could use an old laptop bag. And here it is. Okay guys, this is an old, well, it's not an old laptop bag because it's a new laptop bag, but it's the old style, you know, the old soft briefcase kind of style. This one's made by Targus. I got it off Amazon and it cost me about £11, so it's not going to break the bank. And in here I've got everything I need, less the pole, to build the DX Commander out in the field. So here we go. So this front pocket, 4 bundles of radials. Inside, you can see I've got another 4 bundles of radials and all the radiating elements I'm going to need, including spares. So in there I've got all of the bands, and I've got a wire cut to the same length as the 40-metre one, but it just doesn't have any loops on it or anything. So if needs be, I can fashion one up quickly if one of my antenna elements breaks. Put them to the side. We've got all the hose clamps. We've got tape for use with the aforementioned spare element if we need it. I'll stick that in there actually. We've got the plates. Now normally that plate, I keep that one on the pole all the time with the biggest pipe clamp. Just saves messing about really. If you know, I can just get the pole out and it's already there. Bob the bottom on, and then we can start assembling. Just saves a bit of time when you're setting up. Everything else is in there. Pipe clamps. These are the pegs I use. This is, you can make these yourself out of 1/2-inch aluminium tube, but I actually get these out of the British Army IPK systems because I use the IPK sheet as ground sheets for camping, and obviously messing about with knots when you've got cold fingers can be difficult, so I use these little tensioners. It's a bit like a climbing carabiner. You just pop that through there, loop it round there, stick that loop around your peg, and it's adjustable. Okay, you can get a bag of them, a bag of 10 of them off eBay for peanuts. Aquarium tube of different sizes, obviously for securing the wire on the pole past the top spreader. So that's it. Everything fits in here, nice and easy. I know where everything is. Job done. Congratulations guys, you've made it to the end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support of the channel. I know the subscriber count has gone up quite a bit recently, and I'm really appreciative of that. It gives me a lot of confidence in you guys actually like what I actually produce, so thanks again. I'll take a few pictures on to the end of the video so you can see the fully assembled system and how it all goes together. Okay, coming up in future videos we'll have the DX Commander Expedition, both initial impressions and then in subsequent videos the build, the deployment and field testing. So stick around, you might learn something. Thanks a lot. Cheers.